There are a lot of nutrients out there that are essential to wound healing, but which one also helps your body fight off infection and repair damaged cells? It's zinc. Today, we're talking all about this amazing trace mineral. Hi, I'm a doctor. I'm an emergency room doctor who treats everything from COVID to gunshot wounds, burns, you name it. This video series is created to help answer some of your medical questions and the questions that are commonly asked by patients. If you find this video helpful, please do me a favor and subscribe. When you do that and you hit that notification bell, you let the platform know that you'd like to see more videos like this one, and then the platform will show this video to even more people, thereby helping even more people get the answers that they're looking for. So let's dive right in. Zinc is a trace mineral, meaning that we only need very small amounts of it in order for our bodies to function correctly. But boy, does it do a lot of things. Some of its main functions include promoting cell repair and growth, supporting immune response, and maintaining healthy skin. Zinc is needed for proper function of many enzymes that are involved in wound repair. It also plays a role in collagen formation, which is a big part of wound repair. In fact, zinc deficiency has been shown to delay wound healing. So getting enough zinc in your diet or supplements is important for everyone, but especially so for those who have wounds that are not healing properly. But how do you know if you're getting enough zinc? Well, good question. The recommended daily allowance, or RDA, for men is 11 milligrams per day, and for women is 8 milligrams per day. However, most people do not get enough zinc in their diets. According to the National Institutes of Health, 33% of men and 39% of women fall below the recommended dietary intake for zinc. This can lead to problems with the immune system, gastrointestinal issues, loss of taste or smell, and delayed wound healing. So, if you're concerned that you might not be getting enough zinc, what are some foods that are high in zinc? Well, here are some of my favorites: oysters, beef, chicken, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Unfortunately, zinc absorption decreases with the processing of grains. For example, white rice has a lower zinc content than brown rice. Also, eating a lot of refined sugar or high fructose corn syrup can decrease your body's ability to absorb zinc. So definitely cut back on those to make sure you're able to absorb enough zinc from the foods that you eat. And remember, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like button and share it with anyone you think it might be helpful to. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. Zinc is also available as a supplement. So, should you take a zinc supplement? Well, maybe. As always, though, check with your primary care doctor first before starting any new supplements, especially if you're taking medications or have any medical conditions. Now, if you've taken zinc supplements, chances are you've probably tried zinc lozenges for a cold or the flu. Do they work? Maybe. There are several studies that suggest that zinc lozenges may shorten the duration of a cold by a day or two. This is thought to be because zinc inhibits an enzyme that viruses need in order to replicate. So if the virus isn't able to replicate as easily, it'll take longer for it to spread throughout your entire body. One study even suggested that zinc lozenges may reduce the severity of cold symptoms. This could be because zinc promotes cell repair. Remember that when you get a cold, you're basically fighting off an infection with your immune system. That leads to inflammation and increased neutrophils and lymphocytes. Neutrophils are a type of white blood cell that helps your body fight off infection. Lymphocytes are another type of white blood cell that helps regulate your immune response. They also make antibodies that are specific to the virus causing your illness. Inflammation is your body's way of repairing damaged tissue and getting ready to fight off infection. But sometimes that inflammation can be too much. That's where zinc comes in. Zinc may dampen the immune response slightly and decrease inflammation. That may be helpful in some cases, but it may also interfere with other treatments. So, as always, talk to your doctor about the best treatment options for you. How long should you take zinc lozenges for? Well, it depends. It depends on the condition being treated and the severity of the condition. Always read the instructions on the label. If you're using them for a cold, you may take up to 3 grams of zinc per day in divided doses every 2 to 4 hours as needed. Do not take more than 3 grams per day unless directed by a doctor. You'll want to keep taking the zinc until your cold symptoms are gone. Just keep in mind, taking more than 40 mg per day of zinc can cause side effects like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal cramping. What about for wounds? Well, there's no real consensus on this. Some doctors recommend starting at 30 mg per day and increasing it to 50 mg per day if the wound is not healing properly. Others recommend taking as much as 100 mg per day. Again, it all depends on the individual patient and the wound itself. Definitely let your doctor guide you in the right direction. What if you take too much zinc? Well, remember, too much of a good thing can still be bad. Taking too much zinc for a prolonged period of time can cause side effects. These include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramping, and headaches. Too much zinc can also cause copper deficiency. Copper is another trace mineral that's essential for many different things, including immune function and wound healing. It also helps regulate certain enzymes that are involved in the production of red blood cells. So, if you aren't getting enough copper, you could develop anemia. That's why it's important not to take too much zinc. Try to keep your daily intake at less than 40 mg per day. If you take zinc supplements, what form should you take? There are several different forms of zinc supplements. They include zinc citrate, zinc gluconate, zinc sulfate, zinc aspartate, zinc picolinate, zinc acetate, zinc lactate, zinc chloride, and zinc oxide. Of these, zinc citrate, zinc gluconate, and zinc aspartate are considered the most bioavailable or easily absorbed by the body. The least bioavailable forms of zinc are zinc sulfide and zinc oxide. These are used in anti-acid medications because they tend to stay in the stomach longer. All right, what about side effects of zinc? Well, remember what I said. Too much of a good thing can still be bad. Taking too much zinc for a prolonged period of time can cause side effects. These include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramping, and headaches. Too much zinc can also cause copper deficiency. Like I mentioned earlier, copper is another trace mineral that's essential for many different things, including immune function and wound healing. It also helps regulate certain enzymes that are involved in the production of red blood cells. So, if you aren't getting enough copper, you could develop anemia. That's why it's important not to take too much zinc. Try to keep your daily intake at less than 40 mg per day. Also, zinc can interact with other medications and supplements. These include tetracyclines, quinolone antibiotics, HIV medications, antacids, thyroid hormone replacement medications, diabetes medications, blood pressure medications, iron supplements, and fluoride supplements. So, if you're taking any of these medications, definitely talk to your doctor before starting a zinc supplement. Who shouldn't take zinc? Well, remember, just because something is natural doesn't mean that it's safe. People who have Crohn's disease or other intestinal disorders that affect nutrient absorption may have difficulty absorbing zinc. In addition, people with Wilson's disease or other conditions that cause copper accumulation should avoid taking zinc. So, what's the bottom line? Zinc is an essential trace mineral that's involved in a lot of important processes in the body. It's important for wound healing, immune function, skin health, and much more. We need small amounts of zinc in order for our bodies to function at their best. However, taking too much zinc can cause side effects like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal cramping. It can also cause copper deficiency. So, if you have a diagnosed zinc deficiency, you may need to take a supplement. If you don't have a diagnosed zinc deficiency, it's probably best to get your zinc from the food that you eat. Again, shellfish, nuts, seeds, and whole grain cereals are all good sources of zinc. And remember, if you hit that like button and share this video, you can help reach even more people. And when you leave a comment below, I can make future videos addressing your specific questions. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and stay healthy.